Hi guys, welcome! For this video, let's interview one of the top players in Southeast Asia server and get his perspective about the game. He is part of LG Spirit, the top MP team in the region. And he's none other than GodSyn. The interview was conducted via lineup, and I will read the questions and his answers to you guys. I would like to ask the viewers to respect the views and opinions of our guests. And if you have any comments, kindly keep the comment section open for healthy discussions. Alright, without further ado, let's begin. For our first question, I asked him to share his thoughts on the current state of the game in terms of BCC events. According to GodSyn, currently, there are events that require the use of BCC, which has led to dissatisfaction among many players who feel that the game is becoming increasingly monetized. Personally, I believe players have the ability to choose which aspects are necessary and which are not. If something is deemed unnecessary, it can simply be ignored, thereby saving money each cycle. The game does not force players to make these purchases. It remains a matter of personal discretion whether or not to invest. As a follow-up question, I asked him if the developer should make the PT easier so it will not be too heavy to players. His answer is, as for the card gachapon system, I personally think the developer should consider adjusting the PT or wish power level from 2 down to 1. For example, if a player completes the first full round of pulls without receiving the wish card they set, the second round should guarantee the targeted card. This should help reduce the financial burden on players and make the player feel fairer. Regarding the monthly BCC boxes that are regularly released, the developers might consider reducing the number of pulls required to reach the guaranteed reward, based on what they deem appropriate. Additionally, the items included in the box should not be overly repetitive, especially no more than 3 consecutive appearances of the same item or previously featured items, especially those that players generally don't want. Instead, it might be more beneficial to include items like alien cards from previous card gachapon rotations, which could offer more value to players. As for obtaining the desired item, it will still ultimately depend on the player's luck. And as a side note, he said that don't get discouraged. Many players end up pulling all the way to the guaranteed reward anyway. For our next question, I asked him about his thoughts on the introduction of ROMC and migration of players or player decline. And his answer is, the launch of ROMC has brought back a portion of players who had previously quit ROML. Some returned due to nostalgia and wanting to reconnect with old friends, while others sought to avoid repeating the same quests they had already completed in L. In addition, ROMC has attracted new players from other RO branches. That said, a number of players also chose to leave again, mainly due to overwhelming number of patches released within a short span. ROMC's 4 months nearly equating to the content of L. Some activities were also perceived as heavily monetized. Similar to the concerns raised in point 1, ultimately, it is up to each player to decide whether or not to spend. I also asked him his thoughts on hero classes and job balancing, and this is his answer. It is undeniable that hero classes are currently overpowered when compared to the classic jobs of the original RO. If there is to be a proper job balancing effort, it should involve buffing where needed and nerfing hero classes appropriately. Nevertheless, the ROM community has hosted tournaments exclusively for classic jobs, providing an opportunity for players to revisit the classic gameplay experience. Then, I asked him what can he say about the current GVG map. And this is what he said. With the recent update to Guild Castles, I understand that the development team is actively optimizing map terrains and objectives to ensure balance between defending and attacking sides. I encourage everyone to stay tuned and continue engaging with the evolving GVG experience. Additionally, I believe that the development team will soon open up channels for feedback. Personally, I find this update enjoyable and nostalgic. It allows for more effective defense strategies compared to the previous GVG versions. Since GodSyn is famous for PvP, I do not want to miss asking him his thoughts on the current PvP events like RMC and other online tournaments like Glory of Classic. And this is his thoughts on PvP events. The effort to bring about RMC Season 2 has been ongoing, and the ROM team has not been idle. A preliminary announcement has already confirmed that RMC Season 2 will indeed take place, with even greater rewards than before. This reflects the game's continued support for PvP modes and a range of online tournaments, whether internal guild events or cross-server competitions, such as the Classic Job Tournament, which has been met with positive player response. As for the second to the last question, I asked him if he is satisfied on how the game went. And this is his response. I remain satisfied with the game's steady stream of updates, which include Guild War features, various offline and online tournaments, as well as the introduction of new classes, maps, and patches. As for the future, it is hard to say with certainty, but we'll see how things unfold. And lastly, I asked him if he can give advice to the current active players. And this is his advice. Spending less on recharges doesn't mean you'll be at a disadvantage in every type of content. For example, in MVP boss hunting, luck still plays a big role when teleporting. You need to land right where the MVP is, before the whales arrive. In PvP content, whether it's GVG or Magic Prison mode, I'll admit whales do have some advantages in areas like cards, gear, or other enchantments due to their spending. However, believe me, there are many teams made up of non-whale accounts that, with great strategy, consistently defeat teams full of whale accounts. That's why dedication to building solid fundamentals is a key part of your success. And I truly believe that everyone can achieve that. Keep going and don't give up. So that's it guys for our interview with GodSyn. I hope you got some insights and new perspective about the game. For our next interview, let me know in the comment section who should I interview next. Again, please keep the comment section open for healthy discussions. I would also like to thank GodSyn for allowing me to interview him. Until next time, thank you for watching and see you in my next video.